guys, it's Jenna. Welcome back to my channel. I'm coming at you today with another book tag. I'm catching up on my tags, so here's another one. This is the My Life in Books tag, and I was kind of sort of unofficially tagged by Krista over at BooksandJams to do this. We were talking about it in the comments, and I thought it would be the perfect video to celebrate my birthday. However, I procrastinated and my birthday was like almost a month ago. But here we are, I'm finally doing it. So the My Life in Books tag is cute because it has you pick out books that represent like certain aspects of yourself or your childhood and your favorite color and things like that. So let's just get started. So the first question asks you to find a book for each of your initials. So my first initial obviously starts with a J, and I picked Jane Eyre. This was actually the only book on my shelves that I saw that started with a J, but I'm not mad about it because I love her. So J for Jane Eyre. My middle name starts with an M, so I picked Matilda by Roald Dahl. And my last name starts with an S, so I picked the beautiful Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor. Next up is to count your age along the shelves, and I just turned 26 last month, and so I picked One Dark Throne by Kendora Blake. It is the 26th book on my shelves. Have not read it yet, hopefully soon. Next question is to pick a book set in your country or city or town, and I went with Paper Towns by John Green. This book is mostly set in Orlando, Florida, and that's pretty much the closest town that I could think of where I can think of like a book that's set like closest to me. That's the closest one. And also, funny story, I used to work in Winter Park, which is close to like the more downtown Orlando area, and the main characters in Paper Towns went to Winter Park High School, so I thought that was just the coolest thing as I was reading it. And when I watched the movie, you could actually see a lot of Orlando, and they were talking about I-4, which is like my interstate that I grew up driving and riding on, so I thought that was pretty cool. And the next question asks you to pick a book that represents a destination you would love to travel to, and I picked 3 for this one. The first one is The Magnolia Story by Chip and Joanna Gaines. I picked this because I just want to go to Waco and visit the Magnolia Table restaurant, their bakery, their market. I just want to see everything that they've done in Waco, so I picked that one. The next one is The Wicked Deep by Shay Earnshaw. This is a young adult magical realism, I guess urban fantasy. I'm not really sure how to classify it, but it's a book that I read very recently, and it surprised me how much I enjoyed it. It is set in the Pacific Northwest, and it's set specifically in, I don't know if this town is fictional, I think it is, but it's set on the coast of Oregon, and I just loved the atmosphere, and I want to visit there. And then the last one, I picked a little graphic novel that I also read recently called The Tea Dragon Society. And I forget the author's last name, but this graphic novel was adorable. I came across it at work, and I was instantly drawn to the illustrations and the colors that were used on the front cover. And I opened it up and I just fell in the story, and I ended up spending like half an hour at my desk at work reading a book. And contrary to popular belief, librarians do not get to read all day. But there was just like a slow period where I just could fit in a little graphic novel, and I'm so glad that I did because it was adorable, and I ended up giving it 5 stars. But it's set in this fictional fantasy world where there are little dragons that have these horns on their head that sprout tea leaves, and there are these certain types of people, these certain handlers that are trained to harvest the tea leaves from the tea dragons and to brew these special kinds of teas that have healing abilities and calming effects on people and their creatures in this world. And I just thought it was the most clever, cute, adorable little graphic novel, and I highly recommend it. I just want to live in that world, basically. Next up, I have to pick a book that's my favorite color, and it's really hard for me to pick a favorite color. I honestly love all shades of green, and I really love all shades of purple as well. So I picked just one off my shelves that I felt the most drawn to color-wise, and that is this gorgeous, gorgeous edition of The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett. I just think it's so, so, so pretty. It looks so nice on my shelves. And then I'm also using this for the next question, which is to pick a book that you have the fondest memories of. And I'm, yes, picking this one too because I read this with my 4th grade class in elementary school. We all read it together. I want to say we did a chapter each week, and we had a folder that had these notebook pages in it, and we had to describe our thoughts and summarize each chapter each week. And I remember just having a blast decorating it. And the copy, I remember going shopping with my dad to buy our copy of The Secret Garden, which I no longer have. I think it got damaged in a move somewhere along the line. But the edition that I got came with a little necklace that had the key to The Secret Garden on it. And I just remember wearing it to school and feeling so cool. And it's just, every time I see The Secret Garden, I always think of that. And I just remember loving reading it as like a 9-year-old kid. Next up is pick a book that you had the most difficulty reading. And I didn't finish this one, I'll be honest with you. I probably got about halfway through. And I made the mistake, I think, of listening to the audiobook. I would not recommend listening to this on audiobook, but I'm a very visual person, so I think I would have had an easier time getting through this if I had read the physical book, and that is The Silmarillion by J.R.R. Tolkien. I want to give this a try and try to finish it at some point in my life. It's not a high priority right now, but I liked it. It's just, if you know anything about this, it's a lot. It's basically the creation story of the world of Middle-earth in the Lord of the Rings universe. And it has the main god and all of his angels, if you will, all the lesser gods that help to create the world. And it has all of these myths about how these beings, the elves, the dwarves, were created in this world. And it goes really, really in depth. And there's a lot of characters to keep track of, like a lot. So it was a difficult time reading that, but hopefully I'll get to it one day soon. And the last question is, which book on your TBR pile or shelves do you feel like will you feel the most accomplishment in finishing? And I don't know if I'll ever get to this. I haven't given up yet, but I'm picking Les Mis by Victor Hugo. I don't know if I'm ever gonna get to this, but I said the same thing about it at one point, and I ended up reading it and loving that, and I think it's about the same length. So I know I can do it. It's a lot, guys, and there's, again, a lot of characters, and it spans a lot of years, and we'll see. I definitely will feel accomplished after finishing it. So there we go. That's the My Life in Books tag. I don't have anybody specifically in mind to tag to do this. So if you are interested in doing it, please do. I don't think that Brittany over at BrittanyFreakingReads, have you done this? If you haven't, I tag you. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Bye.